let's go. Pono Pau joining me. You're taking on Johnny Magna, fighting down the ranks, but he's one of those up and coming new studs. I mean, every time you get up there, dude, you either put on a show or you take care of business. You plan to do both this time around?
Yeah, of course. I like this match. This match is a good matchup. And me and Johnny don't have any kind of animosity or anything, any problems going on. He's a really respectful guy, and I like him for that. You know, the last time we talked one on one was at the event at Circa, the after party, and he was like, "Man, it's good to meet you." And he's like, "I've watched you, with the Cooper Housing match, and it's like I want to get in the game. I'm super excited." So nothing but respect to Johnny, but got to go out there, got to get business done. Something to prove on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen you up there, at the table since June of 2025. So it's been a long time. I know you're very active, obviously, on the coaching and training front. How are you feeling about everything now and, just the state of where your game is at?
I feel good. It as much as I've had a long time off, 11 months from the last match. It's given me time to level up and just really work on technique, work on bracing, work on the checklist, doing all the things that I need to do to make sure I'm well prepared out there. I love your smile, Corey. The checklist kicked in. You know what I'm saying? And it's always gonna be a secret until you work with me, but yeah, so
Exactly.
it's given me a lot of time to level up and really, kind of analyze and watch all these new up and coming people, all the people that are seasoned that are already on the roster, and really just kind of look at video, watch how their matches go, and study. That was my biggest thing is studying the opponents, studying who I'm going to be facing next, and just having a good understanding of what they understand in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of come, last minute for you. Obviously, being a true professional, you're right on weight, ready to go and answer that bell.
hmm
Regardless of how quickly things come about. Do you have any insight as to why we haven't seen you in the last 11 months, or you just had to sit and wait your turn until a match made sense?
I think that's exactly what it was. It's just that they had a lot of movement going on in the heavyweight division. There's been a lot of newcomers that just jumped in, especially from the NXT wrestling background, and they got to make it fit for what it is and what's going on in the sport. So, I mean, it sucks for me because I think the most experience you can get is by going out there and battling and standing on stage. And right now I'm 3-2, so I've only had 5 matches since then. So right now, I'm just excited. I'm excited that I get an opportunity to go out there and really showcase what I've been working on, what I've been helping with other people, and kind of coaching and kind of guiding the way.
Yeah.
Exactly what I need to go out there and do. Just perform.
Yeah. I mean, outside of official power slap camps, you are definitely leading the way with the amount of athletes that you train, that you connect with, the athletes that give you credit for helping them out. But I'll say this second in your division for someone who's putting in the work with John Dodson and Chelsea Dodson.
hmm
Johnny Magnus, for lack of a better term, is probably going to be prepared. How do you game plan for a guy like him who's working with some OGs?
Well, originally it was Johnny was working with them for quite some time now. Because they have their own gym, and John Dotson and Chelsea originally when Chelsea first had her I think what was that match? It was like one of her first matches, or maybe even the Paige Van Sant match. We worked with Chelsea to try to like get down a technique and a style, and not so much of like trying to implement our style into what she wanted to do or how she wanted to perform out there, but more of just here. This is something that we do, but everybody works with their own body mechanics. You know what I mean? Their own biomechanics. You can't really teach somebody, hey, this is how you're supposed to do it, because when they go out there and they perform, it might not look well. So we were able to help out in the very beginning, and then after that, I mean, they've taken on a role because I mean, John is that guy. I mean, he is the one that goes out there and trains. He's fought in the UFC. He's right now, fighting in other different events, and he has the good understanding of the biomechanics that you need to kind of be able to move out there and do stuff out there. So I think they are a power team, a power duo. And for Johnny Magna to be working underneath them is amazing, because I know how driven and how disciplined they are when it comes down to training properly, consistency, going there every single day and making sure that you do the work. And they're putting that into Johnny. So I'm not taking Johnny lightly for no reason. You know what I mean? Like he is in a good spot, in a good training position where he can perform properly.
Yeah.
And I take that into fact, that he's with good people and good coaches.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So obviously, he had a draw against Ryan Kenny in his first ever match. Then he comes back against Ricky South and gets a phenomenal knockout. Um, skill set wise, I think he's sitting 7 or 8 in the division right now. Um, a guy you definitely don't want to overlook. But do you think this is a little bit more of Johnny being that good, or do you think it's potentially of Ricky maybe not being up to par? That's kind of giving him that buzz. I mean, because he's kind of in that stunt marshal talk right now. And do you
Hmm.
feel your own personal opinion that it's warranted?
I honestly feel that Johnny is really coachable. That's the thing, is that once you show him something, once he has like a gets a taste of it, I mean, he gets obsessed with it. And he likes to, go out there and perform as much as he can to try to dial everything in. So, overall, that's what makes Johnny dangerous. Is
Mhm.
that Johnny is that guy that kind of goes out there and he takes on that thing. And when you have people like-minded like that just take it a little bit more serious than your normal regular Joe that's just kind of going out there and slapping somebody, and you're actually developing a technique, developing a good bracing stance, and just getting better at your craft. You can't take anybody like that lightly. You know what I mean? Same thing with me. You know what I mean? It's like all I have done to this point in time is study. All I have done to this point in time is train and just to perfect my craft as much as I can. You know what I mean? We originally started off with a certain technique, and we've adopted more techniques as we went along. So I feel like that overall saying mastering one technique and then practicing all techniques makes it good.
For sure. For sure. I mean, Johnny's listed at 6'4", and so he's gonna be the tallest guy that you faced. Have you thought about that at all, and how it's going to change mechanics? I mean, just looking at the rest of your resume, you fought guys 6'1", 6'2".
Hmm.
So you're going to have quite a bit. You'll have. I mean, I'll say you have the height advantage by being the shorter athlete. I think it's fairly safe to say that. Have you thought about the mechanics of that and how the slap's going to look a little bit different?
Yeah, because in preparation, I was already preparing for bigger people like Nate Bernard. I mean, Nate Bernard's a tall person. Aaron Turner's a tall person, especially when he came into the game and he had that switch up between going against James Seekman and then last minute they switched it over to Wes Mena and he had that battle with Wes Mena on Power Slap 12. I was already what you would say sizing him up, right? Figuring out exactly like what's going to work best for me with somebody that's a little bit taller. What's going to
Mhm.
work best when obviously he's going to get in a bracing stance and he's going to be a little bit shorter. Figuring out what overall like braces there are that people can practice as much as you can do out there, and just really breaking them down, analyzing exactly what could happen, all the potential playouts of what he could be doing out there. And I just got to make sure that I take my time, I slow everything down, and I watch and I observe. And once I get a good read of, okay, this is exactly how he's going to brace, or this is exactly what he's going to do, I'll be able to deliver the technique properly. Figuring out exactly where hand placement needs to be, and exactly how he's standing, which way I got to hit him.
For sure. I mean, this is a big night for the heavyweights. I mean, we're gonna start with you guys. Then you're gonna have Jake Haggard and Delvin Jenkins, and then you're
Hmm.
gonna have Damien DeBell, and you're gonna have Darius the Destroyer.
Hmm.
I mean, the heavyweights are coming to show up and show out right now. I think that's a really good opportunity, especially for you getting on this card and being in that mix. We seen what happened on the last card at 18, where obviously you had Wolverine, and then you had the Logan Greenhall match with
Hmm.
Allen, kind of the number one contender match. I kind of see this very, very similar on this card starting to build that, depending on the outcome of this match and how things come to fruition and the virality of that could come from it, that could very well set up for things that'll happen, later on with that championship match into the future. Have you thought about that at all?
I have, yeah. And originally, when all this stuff was playing out, and I'm sitting in the background, kind of waiting for my turn, I just see it playing out like, okay, this match is happening, that match is happening, and it didn't look well. Like it didn't, and especially for myself, and like it didn't look good. I was like, okay, well, they're gonna have this match. This is happening. Majority of the people within the roster have already battled before me. And I just thought to myself, I was like, well, two things. What the hell did I do wrong, right? To get to fall in last place on this stuff, and then I thought, okay, well, maybe they saved the best for last.
Yeah,
Both ways. Got to be optimistic in some way, sense or form. So, it's given me opportunity to be able to be patient, to be able to watch and see techniques and see styles and how people are progressing within the sport, especially in the heavyweight division. It gave me a lot of data, a lot of stuff for me to study. That's reality. It's like, and the more data that I can get in my head to be able to try to figure out and see what I need to work with, the better I'm going to be. Especially going out there and performing on the stage.
for sure. Like I said, you've had a lot of time to sit back, to study, to absorb it all as the division moved around you. For someone who's never seen you fight before, what can they expect from you come fight night on April 17th?
Well, I'm laser focused. My main focus out there is precision and accuracy. So I'm pretty spot on with the way I hit and the target, but it's always the knockout. Like, that's the thing. It's like I don't practice and I don't train this way to go rounds with people. It's all immediately I'm looking for a knockout. And as much as it's respectful between me and Johnny and we having that mutual respect between us, I have something to prove. Power Slap has held off on me for 11 months now, 12 months, a whole entire year, and I want to prove it that even if you gave me 2 years, I'm still prepared. I'm still ready. Doesn't matter who you put against me. I've had the opportunity to be able to study as much targets as I possibly can, and I can see myself climbing the rankings immediately. I was already doing so beforehand. Getting up to number 4, then slowly getting pushed back down number 5, number 6, and I realized that the rankings, it's just a number, just like the age. Age is just a number. It doesn't really matter. One day you can be number 8, and you could be in position to fight number 3, number 2, number 1. It really doesn't matter at this point. They just want to see really good matches going on stage and seeing it happen out there and people that can perform. And it's WrestleMania weekend.
Absolutely.
It's that time. You know what I mean? It's like, if I had any time in this whole entire year to perform, this is it right here, because this opens the doors for other things. You know what I mean? It's not just, it's bigger than Power Slap. I have a purpose. I have a purpose out there, and I want to be able to prove everybody right, and prove everyone, and also prove other people wrong.
100%. Oh, you still there?
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, one last one for me. I'm going to have to put you on the record for this, all right?
shoot
The
it.
day that you retire, I need you to hand me an envelope that has the checklist inside of it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I need to kill that curiosity, all right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Even just before I retire from this sport, you'll know exactly what the checklist is and exactly what it is, because you're gonna see a lot of these new strikers and up and coming people that go out there and they practice. It's if you study all the matches and you look at how people move and their biomechanics and the way that they shift and they do weight transfer and they do everything else, and you'll see, a lot of people use it now. And I didn't see that before me and my brother hit the stage, before we got out there and we started implementing this lean, and people were doing stuff like it, but they never put a name to it. And now, going out there, I've created a system. It's called the slap system. It is as funny as it can be, right? But it's
Yeah, yeah.
speed, lean, accuracy, and power. And you can figure out what things you need to actually really generate a really solid slap. But that's only on the offensive side. So, defensively, I know that Johnny Magna's got a good hit on him, right? And we've seen it from his last one against Ricky South. He was able to put him down immediately. He's got some speed on there. So I'm preparing for everything that he's got to offer. It's like I'm ready to be able to take that hit and deliver one.
Yeah. I mean, I think if anyone's going to be prepared, it's going to be you. You study more tape than anybody else that I know. And I look forward to seeing you once again perform up there on stage.
All right. Thanks, Corey.